If there's one type of video on YouTube that I can never get sick of, it definitely has to be OC redesign videos. I love hearing about the phases artists' characters go through and seeing old ideas reimagined. And I myself have been sitting on an iffy character design for a while, so I thought, why not make one myself? Alright, meet Arlo. He is from a universe I like to call the Reign of Urg, and an extremely brief synopsis of this story is basically that it takes place after humanity's greed finally tips the scale too far and climate change runs its full course. And the way that humans survive is by filing into these huge dome-like structures that are created by the really, really rich, and they let people in under the condition that they follow their rules, so it becomes like this autocracy situation. Is that right? I don't know. But yeah, Arlo exists in the time after the surface becomes livable again, and he basically comes from this long lineage of surgeons, but later becomes this transfigured peacock medical alchemist guy, which is kind of a mouthful, but I'll get more into his lore later. But for now, let's just take a look at some of his older designs. Okay, this is his first design. I really like the idea that I had for it, but I felt like his clothes weren't exactly right, and he didn't read super well as what he was supposed to be in the story. And also his hair was way too similar to like 90% of all of my other characters, including myself. But yeah. Alright, this is the second design. As you can see, I kept the same pose, and I tried to lean more into like the alchemy part of his like clothing, but I don't know, I'm not in love with it. And the potion things on his belt were like really lazy, and they don't even line up with his canon alchemical process. And I also made his hair super straight, which I just don't like. It does not look good on him. But yeah, the colors are more cohesive in this design, which I like. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like his design could still be stronger. My three main goals going into this redesign are to first, fix his clothes, second, make his hair different but still interesting, and then third, incorporate aspects of his profession into the design. So let's get to it. Okay, so I won't be doing commentary on the design process because I feel like I won't have much to say, and also I keep everything fairly similar to what it used to be. So instead, I will be talking about his lore, so strap in. Like I said earlier, Arlo comes from a long lineage of surgeons, meaning his career was basically set in stone since he was born, and he had a surprising aptitude for his studies, so he was projected to be an exceedingly worthy successor for the commercial hospital his family owned. But, like any interesting character, something had to go wrong. Arlo was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and his promising future was very suddenly closed off. He underwent numerous surgeries and procedures, but it was all to no avail, and by the age of 18, Arlo had run face first into the limitations of the medical industry. His frustration and lust for life veered him towards the studies of modern alchemy. Realizing alchemy alone wouldn't be able to cure him, he decided to try and combine the medical and alchemical fields. And a quick side note, in this story, magic isn't really a thing, so alchemy has a very strong basis in science and may not be the flashy magical kind that comes to mind when I refer to it. Anyways, with his time running short, Arlo conducted extensive research day in and day out, trying to catch his knowledge in alchemy up to his understanding of biology. But unfortunately, the disease began eroding his motor functions, and despite his research being nowhere near finished, he knew it was now or never. Using the cadaver of a peacock, Arlo successfully replaced all of the disease-ridden parts of his body with that of the animal's. However, while the disease was subdued, his body underwent visible transfiguration. And further, his parents, who feared the social and economic consequences of Arlo's mutilated body, decided to cut ties with him. This angered Arlo, as he had fostered a great pride in his unfinished research, viewing it as a huge breakthrough in modern medicine. He continued studying, and when he finalized his research, he opened up a clinic of his own, basically despite his parents. And while his clinic initially stirred up a lot of infamy, with time his clients have grown to love him. He puts on a spiteful and cold demeanor, but truly he has a good heart. There were a lot of problems with like the hospital that his family owned, and they were very like money focused instead of actually like caring for the clients. And Arlo is very spiteful towards his family after them cutting him off, so he tries to avoid that as much as possible. And funnily enough, his small clinic really easily outcompetes bigger hospitals due to his efficient and cheap procedures, as previously bionics were the only solution to fix missing body parts. However, they were very clunky and difficult to acclimate to. And Arlo's research allows him to fully replace those parts of the body without any additional hassle. But yeah, that about sums up his lore. And if you were paying attention to the speed paint earlier, you saw me explore like a couple sketches before actually going into the final, like changing up his pants or his apron. But yeah. I also scaled him down to be next to one of my other characters from this universe just to see what they'd look like next to each other before like lining and then doing the coloring, which by the way I struggled a lot with. The coloring was definitely the biggest hurdle in my opinion, and yeah, just trying to get the colors to balance with each other and still be cohesive, despite all the different colors that come with the peacock aspects of his design. And you can actually see me like flicking between black and white and the actual color, just to check the values during the coloring phase, but yeah. And I also had this outdoors outfit idea before I did this redesign, and it wasn't very thought out, and I didn't really want to just throw out the pants design out the window since I really liked that silhouette, even though it didn't really change much because his tail feathers are very like fluffy, but I still like how it looked. So I went ahead and did this pencil sketch, just exploring that idea more for his outdoors outfit, and I think I like it. I don't know if I have the energy to do a whole nother speed paint in this video, like going over this sketch and polishing it, but yeah, this is in the air. And the reason why he has an outdoors outfit in the first place is because in Erg, the sun's radiation can be extremely deadly if you're not careful. And yeah, just having extra layers to protect from the sun's rays is very important. And yeah, the end came out pretty good. I'm like happy with how it looks. It's very true to the original design, but still has like a new flair to it. But yeah, that about sums up the video. If you stayed this far, I'm happy to announce that I have finally set up an email for you to submit an OC, persona, or avatar, whatever it is, for me to draw in an upcoming video. With Art Fight being so far, I've been craving drawing other people's characters, so I'm really excited to do this, so please submit. Anyways, let me know what you thought about this video, or if you like learning about my OC. I have a lot of lore in this universe that I'd love to talk about, so let me know if you're interested. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.